I was looking at 4 to 15 years for attempted murder with a deadly weapon. Mm. You hit the car and you laying on your feet. Like, how the hell is that even possible? Like, it really looked like something out of Looney Tunes. And it pissed me off in that moment that she was still standing with that bat in her hand, swinging the bat. And I and did it again. It's a lot of different areas in my life that I barely talk about. The people who know is because the people that was there.
Leave me, baby, don't wanna fall again. This just hurt me.
90 days of transparency. While on this journey of being true with yourself and authentic with yourself and acknowledging your story, doing a deep dive, going inward to truly facing your story. True transformation comes from unlocking those doors and staring yourself in the face, looking at your true inner self and accepting all of you and realizing that the things that you have been through, they were not for you. It was your journey to go through it, but to be the testimony and the witness and the example for somebody else that if I could go through that and overcome it, so can you. So in these 90 days of transparency, baby, yeah, we're doing a deep dive going inward, but guess what? The outer appearance and the financials and all of that plays hand in hand because we're not stopping one without the other. Within this 90 days of transparency, baby, you get 15-day challenges and 30-day challenges back to back. You're getting your mind fed while you're really accepting you. But guess what? Y'all don't think y'all ain't finna watch this body transform. I'm already down 115 pounds. I can still stand to do some more. Look in the mirror at yourself. Do you like what you see? I always say get butt naked and look yourself in the mirror. And if you don't like what you see, baby, hit up your girl Laeann. Because on these 90 days of transparency, we transforming bodies too. And bank accounts. 15 days at a time. Join me. Oh, my legs are tired. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Laeann Amos-Reed, and welcome back to my channel, Gemini Mindset. So I'm in this season where I'm being very obedient because I know what obedience gets me, even if it pushes me out of my comfort zone. Over the last week, I had been out because my eye got swollen. I got bit by a spider over here on the side of my face or whatnot, and it swole my eye up really, really good. Oh, let's back up for a second. When I feel my nerves getting the best of me, this is one of the things that I do to calm me back down and bring me back centered. Hey, 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 y'all. Thank you for giving me your time. You could have been anywhere in the world today, but you're right here with me. And I want to say thank you. That does not go unnoticed. And I'm absolutely grateful for that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, so it blows my mind that I could say I'm a published author. It blows my mind that I could say I've interviewed some of my family members' favorite celebrities, asking them some of the questions that they were just dying to know and how they got ahead in their career and things of that sort. Blown away, I'm in a movie, two to be exact. I'm blown away that I still have breath in my lungs, that I'm still walking after being attacked by a 92% gray wolf. It blows my mind. Like my life and where I am today, it blows my mind. Because when I say I'm human just like y'all. Everybody has low points. But it's not about the low point. It's not about you being in that point. It's how long you gonna be there. Cause you gotta get yourself up out of it. You still got things to do. You still got things to handle. You still got dreams and goals that you said you wanted. And it's like I remember it fading to black. I remember it being dark outside, but the skies was blue, but you could still see it. I remember being outside of the club. I remember the two security guards standing right there at the door. I remember leaving out the club and going and getting in my car to leave from an environment that was going to cause me to not be myself. And I tried so hard to avoid it. I remember getting in my car and I remember pulling out of the driveway and it was a U-turn driveway. So it was one way in with a dead end at the end of the parking lot. So it was one way in, one way out. And I remember I was parked on the side that had the dead end. And I was in my car and I drive and I came around. And a girl jumped in front of my car. A moving car, not a still car, a moving car. She jumped in front of my car with a bat. And all I remember was if she hit my windshield, she's going to shatter the windshield. Like, like when I say that was the first, like that's the vision that I saw. The window shatter, and I was like, how can I avoid it? And how can I get away and get myself away from this environment that I clearly could see is going left? I felt it. That's why I left. And the girl is in front of my car. She did not move, and she's swinging the back. And I remember my foot got heavy, and it got heavy fast. I remember giving the car gas, and I remember she bounced up on my hood. I had a Chevy Malibu. I had a Chevy Malibu, and I remember she bounced up on my hood, and when she landed on her feet, I was like, "What?" She landed on her feet. She landed on her feet, and it pissed me off. Like in a matter of, I'm trying to get away. I need to get away. I need to get away. It pissed me off, and I did a donut in the middle of the road, and I went back and I hit her again. And the second time when I went back and hit her, the car went like this is the building, and the car went like this. And the two security guards went to grab her and move out the way. Do you know my car could have killed her and both of the security guards? Like, as soon as that happened, I remember calling 911 and telling them that I got in a fight with this girl, and this girl jumped in front of my car with a bat, and I think somebody need to go check on her because she's hit. Mm. And then I remember I called my mama, and I was like, "Mom, I can't go home. I couldn't go home. I couldn't go home to the apartment that I was living in." And I was earlier this week, my god brother called me and we was talking and he brought up this story. And this next part I'm finna say, I was like, I forgot about that. And anyways though, the apartments that I was living in, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was living in Eureka Gardens. on Section 8 paying $35 a month for rent.
As a college student.
Okay. And I remember I called my mom. I said, Mom, I can't go home right now. And I couldn't go home because the young lady that I got into it with, and that we ended up getting in a fight, and she jumped in front of my car and I hit her with my car twice. She had the type of family where her and her sisters would fight each other, they would beat each other down. But if somebody messed with one of them, they would all team up and they would go together. So it's like, take this one out, or you gonna mess around and have to deal with all of them, and it's gonna be at one time. Like, and these are thoughts that's happened like in a half of a second, like fast thoughts. So I remember I called my mom and I told my mom, I said, I can't go home right now. I said, I'm finna come to y'all house. I said, I need to lay down. I need to go to sleep. I said, I need to look for an attorney. I said, Ma, I can't talk about it right over. I'm not finna talk about it over the phone. I'm finna go home, grab some stuff, and I'm on my way to y'all house. And I know my mama was probably scared out her mind, like, what the world is going on? Because I had never been in trouble with the law like that. Not like that. But at the same time, it's like I can look at it now and be like, wow, like, Laeann, you really did that? Like, so anyways, I never share these stories. It's like I pick and choose what I want to talk about. And God told me this past week while I was out, I was still doing my work around the house and stuff, but I didn't really too much want to be on camera like that. So while I was sitting still, I've noticed that when God sit me still, it's something he's trying to tell me, something I'm supposed to learn from that, something I need to do. And I'm thankful that now the time has sped it up where instead of it taking weeks and months to pick up on it, I was able to catch it in that short time frame with my eye being swollen. While I'm sitting still, God told me it's time to tell your story. And it makes me think back to my mentor when she said to me, she said, Laeann, you could transform your body, you could transform anything. I need you to get that because when you get that, oh, when you get that. And she said that to me 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Like when I say I got 15 personalities, I really have 15 personalities. You got to get to know all of them. But I don't let that be easily done because there's certain parts of my life and things that I've been through. Like y'all think me getting bit by a wolf was like what, and you overcame that? You think me around here walking around with a big old busted eye, and y'all like, darn, she's still showing up, she's still working. And it's like, cause when things get tough, I don't know how to stop. But it's a lot of different areas in my life that I barely talk about. The people who know is because the people that was there, but I don't really talk about them because it's like those versions of me. I'm so glad I'm not that person anymore, and I do my best, and I block them out. When I say I do my best when I want to block something out, my block game is good. But this past week, when God set me down, I heard God say, God reminded me of some things that I kept saying, and I was like, my voice will be heard to share God's word and impact millions. And then God sent me 3 angels to give me all the same message, and they ain't even know each other. They don't. And they all gave me the same message. So this series is called 90 Days of Transparency. And I'm just going to be transparent about me. Even the stuff I've buried deep down inside that I don't like to talk about. But okay, so back to the story. Ooh, this is gonna be real fun editing, trying to piece all this back together. But anyway, so I remember going to my mom's house, and then I don't remember no more after that. I know back then it was the Yellow Pages phone book, so I know I was looking in the Yellow Pages. I know I was on the internet and I was looking. And I remember I called my god brother. Wait, I don't even remember if I called him because he was also a D. Was he in town DJing that night? Okay, that part I don't remember. But anyways, I remember my god brother, and he became my god brother that weekend, y'all. Like we knew each other, and we was just cool, and because we worked in some of the same like areas, arenas of however you say that. That was like when I say he was there. Oh, he was there. So, anyways, I was looking at 4 to 15 years for attempted murder with a deadly weapon. It later got dropped down. And when I say it got dropped down, I pulled out every card I had, every card you could think of. I'm talking about I was looking at 4 to 15 years in prison. Like when this happened, I probably would have got out. If I would have had to do the whole 15 years, I probably would have got out when I was like maybe 34, 35 years old. Mm. So I pulled out every card that I could think of because I'm like, mm. I was like, God, I ain't never been in no trouble like this before. I said, I really was, it was self defense. It was self defense. It was self defense. I said, I had no idea that girl was either going to fight me. I didn't even know she had beef with me. I'm talking about I had a 3.2 GPA, then a 3.57 GPA in school. I was in college and I was getting ready to move. I remember I was getting ready to move because I was transferring colleges. I was getting ready to move. And I ended up getting in a fight the night before I moved. And that fight is the one I'm talking about. It led outside to me hitting a young lady with my car twice. And I just remember it fading to black. And I could hear the tire marks on the ground. I could hear the sound of it. But I don't have a vision of what happened. I just know what was said that happened because like I visually blocked out. I don't like that. But what I do remember is hearing the thump thump of her body on the top of the hood of my Malibu. I had a Malibu. And I remember when I looked up, she was standing. I can't remember if it was in front of the car or side of the car, but she was on her 2 feet. Like it looked like something out of Looney Tunes. Like you hit the car and you laying on your feet. Like how the hell is that even possible? Like it really looked like something out of Looney Tunes. And it pissed me off in that moment that she was still standing with that bat in her hand, swinging the bat. And I and did it again. And when I did again, it was 2 security guards there. And they grabbed her. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that they grabbed her. And I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful that they moved out the way as fast as they did. Because that could have been 3 cases that I was looking at. Because I blacked out. I got outraged. And that's why I don't like to get upset. I don't like to get upset. I don't like to let nobody push my buttons. I like to have self control over myself and not let nobody get me to a point where I get upset. because I was looking at 4 to 15 years in prison for attempted murder with a deadly weapon. When I tell you I pulled out every card that I had in my arsenal, I called my professors. I called people who I had done volunteered in the community with. I'm talking about the dance studio that I used to go up there and help teach at, and I danced there. I'm talking about I pulled out every card you could think of to have people do character witnesses for me in court to show that that is not my normal character, that that's not how I am, that's not how I normally act, that something had to happen for me to get to that point. Ooh, we went to court for about maybe a year, 2 years. I don't really remember that part. But I'm talking about, baby, I got me an attorney and I got me one of the a good one. That's what I'm gonna say, a good one. So you know the price tag was not cheap. I was one of them ones that was a college student by day and a dancer at night. And the only people who know was the people that came in the club. Even when I danced at high profile clubs in Miami. It's so funny because when I say I lived a double life, you will only know if you came in the club. I never advertised it, never talked about it, but I was one of the top dancers at these clubs. And never advertised it, and nobody would never know unless they came in and spent money on me. But anyways, back to the purpose of this story, I was able to afford the right attorney. So I remember going back and forth to court. I remember getting bonded out of jail. And I'm finna smile now because I'm finna tell y'all my godbrother about it. He was like, Laeann, you remember when you got arrested and you was like, Styles, here go my passwords to all my stuff. Here go my passwords to all my stuff. Stay in contact with all my fans. Answer my emails. If you see any producers write through anything, respond like you me and use my like yeah, I was real still on my business, but I was fighting for my life too. I was fighting for both. Like I told y'all, I got multiple personalities. I could pull off more than one. And we went back and forth to court for a while. And I remember on the day when the judge, oh Lord, yes, I remember the day when we was in court. And the judge was getting ready to read off my sentence. And he took the gavel and slammed it on the desk. And I remember hearing the clank. And it was quiet in the room. And the judge is getting ready to read off my sentence. And the young lady who I hit with my car stood up in court and told the judge that she had something she wanted to say. And all I could say is that was nothing but God. Nothing but God. She stood up and she said to the judge, I have something I want to say. She said, I don't want her, and she was talking about me. She said, I don't want her to go to jail. I don't want her to do probation. All I want her to do is pay the restitution to cover my hospital bills because she was left with pins and screws in her ankle and her kneecap. And she stood up in court and she told the judge she had something she wanted to say. Y'all, let me tell y'all what she said. She told the judge, I don't want her to go to jail. I don't want her to pay for, I don't want her to go to jail. I don't even want her to do probation time. I just want her to pay the restitution so my hospital bills will be covered. Okay. And the judge asked her, why does she have a change of heart? And the young lady said, God didn't take my life from me, so I'm not going to take her life from her. Over the course of us going back and forth to court, all I have heard is people praise and acknowledge her for how she gives back in the community, how she helps pour into others, and so on and so on. She was like, God didn't take my life from me, and I'm not going to take her life from her. And the judge said, okay, do you have anything else you want to say? She said that was it, and she sat back down. So now it's my turn to stand. So I'm standing up and I'm waiting for my sentence. And the judge says, well, since you are in school, what day does school go back in? And I don't remember the exact date at the time, but sometime, during the summer. So I just know that whatever date school went back in, he said, okay, so I want to make sure you don't get in any more trouble. Your sentence is 90 days in jail. By the time you get done and the 90 days are over, school will be just getting ready to go back in. So I'm going to make sure you don't get in any more trouble. Followed by community control, aka house arrest. In Florida, it's called community control when you have an ankle monitor and they give you a GPS box. It's like a little purse. So you have to take this with you everywhere you go. But I had to be at home at the residence on file with my probation officer for at least, I believe, 8 hours or 9 hours a day. So the box could charge. So it would have enough charge to pick up everywhere I was going, okay? Wow, this is really finna pull off into so many different stories, but I'm gonna stick on this one for tonight. So we can wrap this up because 90 days of transparency is a long time, okay? Whew. So yeah, I ended up getting 90 days in jail, and since it was more than 30 days, they sent me out to the P farm. So I was out on the farm, the P farm. So I had to do 90 days in jail, followed by, I think it was a year of house arrest with the ankle monitor, community control, followed by, and it's funny, it was three things because my favorite number is three, y'all. I pay attention to things that happen in sets of three. So God speaks to me in threes. And it's been like that since I was a little kid all the way up to now, okay? So then the judge said, let me go back to the beginning. And it's not funny. I'm just like, oh my God. Like I remember hearing this and my heart was dropping and then it dropped and then it dropped again. But at the same time, I was no longer looking at 4 to 15 years, okay? So the judge gave me 90 days in jail. So when I get out, I go straight into school, followed by community control, the house arrest, in the house for 9 hours a day, I believe. And then I take the GPS box with me everywhere I go. When I get into some of the places where I was at, you'd be like, oh my God, I know your probation officer was like, what is she doing? But anyways, then followed by 7 years probation. Now, to me, I thought the 7 years probation would was the easy part because I'm like I don't do nothing to get in trouble. So that part I was okay with. But baby, when you on house arrest and you got an ankle monitor, can you imagine being somewhere and the signal go out? And the box started beeping and it started sounding off and you running out the building trying holding your box in the air trying to get the signal so it can connect back for your probation officer because now your phone ringing like Miss Amos, because I wasn't married at the time, so what Amos-Reed. Miss Amos, where are you? Where are you? Why is your box not connected? We can't do it. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm outside. I'm trying to get a signal, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I thought that was going to be easy. And God said, I'm going to show you, baby. It wasn't that easy about that. It was more so of a comedy show, okay? Like when I was on house arrest, baby, I wasn't hiding it. But, baby, I was on MTV on house arrest. I was on BET on house arrest, Spring Bling, a bunch of damn shows. Like, yeah, that ankle monitor. When I got house arrest, I was like, I need that. Where is the costume store? Where is the nearest one? Cause I need my piece back, baby. It that thing did wonders. Oh, I can look back at it, I can laugh. It did wonders. Oh Lord, me y'all. I was on house arrest. Mm. Ankle monitor. Can you imagine being on set filming a show and your ankle monitor go off and it start beeping because you ain't got no signal? You got to run off set or you running around the set holding the box in the air talking about where's the signal? Where's the signal? Like how we do phones. Oh, y'all, when I tell y'all it was a real live comedy show, a real live comedy show. I remember the dude that I was dating at that time, he had a house way out in Coconut Grove area. And his house was so big that when we would be in the house, you would lose the signal sometimes. And I, I remember my probation officer had to have his number, and she would call and be like, "Is Miss Amos there?" And he'd be like, "Yes, she's here." Put her on the phone, and I'm like, the signal went out again. She was like, "Go outside," and I had to be on the phone with her and stay out in the middle of the road until the signal came back. It was like that if I was at the club and it went off. I was in the clubs dancing with my ankle monitor on. Like when I say I used to make so much money with that. When they took that ankle monitor off, I was like, man, where is a costume store? Can I get another one? Cause baby, I look like a little nerd. Like I look like how I look now, just younger. And they used to be like, what? You in here with an ankle monitor? They was like, oh, you a G. Man, when I say I made so much money on house of bread to the ankle monitor, but when the signal went out and I had to get dressed and go outside the club and wave the box in the air, baby, everybody was laughing. But that's a whole nother story. Anyways, it was like that. If I'm talking about, oh, I remember I used to go to business meetings with a nice, cute dress on. Like, I would never try to hide it. I would still have on my like pencil skirts back then. I used to love to wear pencil skirts and long fitted dresses that were curvy, that huggy curves would be long. When I went across my legs, the ankle monitor showed and they, oh, you, what did you do? It was like it, baby. So yeah. Oh, and I gotta say this, God, I'm so grateful that that is not on my record. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that it is not on my record. I've learned a lot of lessons through going through that. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful for the woman that I have grown into because what if I didn't learn my lesson when that happened? If I was looking at 4 to 15 years in prison I wouldn't have got out to maybe 35, 36. Like, I remember being 35, 36, and the way the world had done sped up so much with technology, phones, computers, nobody was on Blackberries no more, of all that kind of stuff, right? Can you imagine? I couldn't imagine myself getting out at that age and being so far behind, feeling like, oh my God, I would never catch up. Like, that's how much things had changed in the course of those 15 years. And I'm just, yeah, yeah. I'm very glad that I'm not that version of me anymore. And that's why I don't let nobody push my buttons. That's why I don't get angry. Like, I'm very good at calming myself from letting things cause me to go left. Because when I went left before, I was looking at 40, 15 years of prison off my life. Version of me that I was when that happened, that's the part that I block out. Like, I don't want to think about it. So I don't talk about it. But for these 90 days of transparency, I'm being transparent about who Laeann is and all of me. If I would have kept down that path with that, as soon as I get mad, I snap in a ticking time bomb. If I would have stayed that version of me, oh, baby, I cannot imagine where my life would be at all. Mm. Now I can say it feels good that I talked about that. Like, it feels like I released some baggage by talking about that. And that still ain't even, oh my God, that still ain't even the whole story. Cause let's check this out. So after that happened, let's fast forward. Now, this same young lady who I got in a fight with, that jumped in front of my car and I hit her with my car. She saved me from going to prison. Let me tell y'all what happened later on after we had moved from Miami and we was living in Atlanta. The same young lady wanted me to be her personal trainer. And the gym was in our apartment. Okay? The gym was in our apartment. And I remember I said to Charles, Charles, babe, you remember the girl that I hit with my car that I ran over? He said, yeah. I said, she want me to be her personal trainer. And I don't know if this a trick or if she for real. What you think? And he was like, go ahead and train her. And I'm looking like, what? The gym was in our apartment. And I remember she came. She came. And I trained in the house. When I tell you, talk about growth, talk about forgiveness, talk about two young little girls that have grown up to be some very well minded women, adult women, to have gone through something like that and then could still be in the presence of each other and not want to fall out and like genuinely be polite and cordial to each other. Yeah, I got to give it up for me and her. That's some growth, okay? She was at the house and I was training her, and I told her to do a variation of squats. And when I showed her the squats, she looked at me and was like, now you know I can't do that because of your ass. What you did to me, I can't do that. And I was like, yeah, you right. You let me give you a modification. All right, so thank y'all for tuning in for 90 days of transparency. That was day one. I will finish up on that story later on because we got 90 days. So, yeah, I'm not going to put it all in one, but yeah. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, tune in. As you go on this journey of 90 days of transparency, you're going to be like an onion and you're going to peel back those layers. You know how an onion has so many layers? After you cut the top of it off and it peels back, it's so many layers to you. And in order for you to get to your next level, you got to know you, like you, and be able to trust you. And you can't do that holding parts of you back in bondage. You can't do that. If you truly want to transform, you got to accept all of you. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. And leave your comments below. Peace. 90 Days of Transparency is about truly and authentically being yourself. Owning your story, facing your fears from those stories, and not blocking it out. Using it to rise above. Because you overcame it. You are not a victim, you are a warrior. And 90 Days of Transparency is going to help you to own your story and face you. You cannot grow and you cannot truly transform without acknowledging and owning who you really are. So, in 90 Days of Transparency, expect to get real with yourself, expect to be vulnerable with yourself. Expect to forgive yourself, love yourself through the journey. Because that's the only way you're going to get to the other side. I love my candy cleanse. This is how you can find my new single on Apple Music. Everything Always Works Out For Me. Search my name, Laeann Amos-Reed, and voila, you have it. I hope you enjoy. Everything always works out for me because I programmed my mind to believe that no matter how it looks, how it may seem, everything really is always working out for me. So repeat this. Everything always works out for me. Everything really always happens for me and works out for me. Superstar. Anytime you feel like